Hi everyone.
Hi.
Time for another update. We are currently we're at Beaver Creek Campground. Beautiful place. Cameraman, can you? Hello. Oh, cameraman's asleep again. So if you look over there, there's this view. This creek over there. Check out the view of that. That's an awesome creek. And then there's some fields over there with some gorgeous wildflowers.
Oh my gosh.
We rode our bikes over there yesterday, and it was hard to get Tracy back to camp.
Tons of flowers.
Tons. Yeah. So that's where we're at right now. We were going to record at the last place we were at, but
Wind again.
wind again. So here we are.
Yeah.
So June update. Last time we talked, we were at Villanueva.
Yes.
Actually, we were at Sugar Eat, but we didn't talk about Sugar Eat. So we caught you up to Villanueva State Park, which was great. We had a nice view at the upper campground that we got to at the last couple of days. And then the fires were creating a lot of smoke, the wildfires, not the campfires. So we moved on to Sugar Eat. And we almost didn't even make it to Sugar Eat, right, Tracy?
Yeah, something happened. We never found out what, but there was a huge backup on 70?
I forget
40.
the highway. It was an interstate.
40,
but
I don't know, one of the highways. And for hours, people were backed up on it. I think it was 40, Interstate 40. But
well, Tracy was navigating as we were going there, and she's like, Google's saying go here because there's a huge traffic jam. So we got off the highway, and there was a side road that looked like it went along the highway, and we could pick up the highway later, but that got way backed up. There was some big FedEx truck blocking traffic way up at the next overpass.
but even then, so many people were getting off trying to go that route that was backed up too.
Yeah.
So I looked and saw another road that was an undeveloped road, so dirt road, aka, on the other side of the highway, but we would have had to have turned around and gone back to get to the overpass. So
yeah, we were on this two-lane road. I mean, there were semis backed up on this road. People on the highway were out of their trucks and campers talking, so it was really backed up. And
anyway, so we turned around.
Yeah, so
luckily we have a small camper.
With the beauty of having this tiny camper, we were actually able to unhook the camper from the vehicle, do a three-point turn the vehicle around, turn the camper around by hand. We had to tell the semi driver behind us, don't move up.
Yeah, he was pretty impressed that we did that. But then we were able to go to the overpass and go over the highway and get out of that mess. So that was a crazy adventure.
That saved us hours. The beauty of having a small camper. So yeah, we went to Sugar Eat, and we had reservations for upper campground Soda Springs. That was just opening up. We were actually going to camp there the first day that it opened up. Yeah, great campground up there. It was pretty windy in some of the spots. There was like an upper and an upper loop. Luckily we weren't at the upper loop because it was really windy there, if you can imagine that. But great park. We saw some really cool birds.
Lots of birds.
We saw a bright mountain bluebird that was singing a song. We saw rufous-sided towhee.
Lots of raven and turkey vultures and
what about that
hummingbird? Tons of hummingbirds.
Yeah, got some good pictures of this hummingbird that was buzzing our heads and flying around the campsite. That was cool. And we did some cool hiking in the area. There was a nice lake up near the top of the state park, and that actually butted up with Colorado. So if you went past the lake, you went into Colorado.
Yeah, we were like, what, a mile from Colorado?
Yeah, we were a couple miles or a mile. And there were a couple of sweet mountain bike trails. Did some mountain biking, met a local, the 73-year-old named Patrick, who was freaking kicking it on a mountain bike still. Rode with him a little bit on one of the trails, and we chatted a little bit, learned a little bit about the area from him, so that was kind of cool. Nice to meet locals and learn some knowledge about the area.
Yeah, Sugar Eat is actually, the state park is where an old mining town used to be, and when the mine shut down, they pretty much disassembled everything they could disassemble in the town and took that, so all that's left are the foundations, the stone foundations, and just random garbage, like old wash tubs and stuff that they left, but they left in the, 1950s? late
That sounds
40s,
right,
early
yeah.
50s. So you would expect that there would be more, structures left, but there's only like a dam house and a house that is used by the park staff to store equipment. But I think that was where they used to keep the mules.
Yeah.
I think what they said.
And we walked through, there was a trail that went through
Yeah, it
the
was
old
pretty
mining
cool.
town, and you could see where the old streets were and foundations. That was pretty cool.
And I did some major mountain biking for the first time.
Major.
Um,
Yeah.
That was pretty cool, fun. Proud of myself for doing it.
Yeah, luckily she has that nice front shock on her bike.
Yeah.
So,
And it did get some smoke there too. From
Yeah,
the fire. The fires in New Mexico were awful.
Yeah.
I feel so bad. And as far as I know, to this date, the Hermit's Peak and Cook's Peak fires are still burning.
Yeah. Sad.
Last time we checked was about a month ago, and it was over 300,000 acres. I don't even want to look now to see what it is. But anyway.
Yeah, so we left there, and you can talk about our next stop.
We went to Bear Creek Lake in Morrison, so we could go see Billy Strings. And
I'm surprised Billy's not playing on the speaker right now.
she was earlier. That park is unremarkable. We don't even need to talk about the park, but the concert was awesome.
Yeah, good show.
Bad thing is I lost my very expensive prescription sunglasses. So that sucked. But the concert was incredible.
Did you mention that it was at Red Rocks?
It was at Red Rocks. Really weird
Awesome
seeing
amphitheater.
him there because we're so used to seeing him in smaller venues. But they were tight, and it was just, it was perfect.
Great show.
So we were only there for the concert, so we left the day after and headed west through Colorado.
And we didn't have any reservations. A lot of the time when we're going out, we don't have reservations. Sometimes we do. But we're looking for BLM or free Forest Service land. So we drove west, and we actually found a pretty cool area right along this raging river.
It was beautiful.
And we saw this spot, and we're like, well, why does no one have this spot? So we drove around just to check other spots, and we decided to come back to this spot. And I'm starting to set up the camper, getting it all leveled. And Tracy walked down by the river, comes back, and
It's like, nope, there's someone set up down there. There were walk-in sites. So
Yeah.
the picnic table and fire ring were way down this path that you couldn't see from the road, and their car was gone. So we
Yeah.
didn't know. They had nothing on there saying that the camp was occupied. So that sucked. We had to take off and go a little further west. Found some place just for the night back on BLM land, and then packed up in the morning and continued on.
yeah, because there was a race course set up for OHVs.
Oh yeah, we weren't going
right
to stay
by
there.
this place. So we got the hell out of there real early because we
Yeah.
didn't want to mess around with those polluting and annoying freaking OHVs.
Okay.
So don't worry about that, Tracy.
Okay.
There's someone's bag floating around, but we'll get that later.
Okay.
Fucking campers.
And then we went, so let's see, then we left early and kept going further west, and we found this area right at the edge of the Colorado-Utah border, pretty much, a couple miles from Utah, called Rabbit Valley. Super cool area.
Very sweet.
Beautiful.
So there was a upper and a lower
Yep.
area, and the upper area was on this mesa, and we saw a bunch of campers on the edge, but we were like, well, let's go check that out because that looks cool. And we got lucky. We actually
Yeah.
got, I think, the best site up there
Yeah.
on the mesa, Site 15, which was the furthest from the highway. Had great views of the mountains in the back. and
Yeah,
the
a huge
fields.
valley in the back with all this, found out it's called cheatgrass, which is really bad invasive plant, but it's beautiful because it's red, purplish. So you look out in this field and see all this red, purple area in the greens, and it was quiet back there. That area is really popular again with OHVs, more so on the other lower campground areas.
Yeah.
So up top, a lot of days, we were like one of maybe 3 campers at the whole, I think there are 15 sites up there.
Yeah, I was surprised.
But beautiful area. But we were there for my birthday, so that was cool. We
Yeah.
drove in and found
Drove into Fruta.
Fruta and found the Colorado National Monument was there. So
Well, we got
decided
ice cream first.
Yeah, we got ice cream for my birthday, and then we we went up and went in the monument and
That was
drove
awesome.
around and did some short hikes. Absolutely breathtaking. Such a cool place. And then what else did we do while we were there?
And well, I got a little case of COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got it, if it was from the Red Rock show or what, but I
Yeah.
felt like my allergies and my sinuses were really bothering me. I didn't really
Yeah,
feel
we
sick
both
other than
did.
that, so I decided to take a COVID test. I think this was a couple of days after Tracy's birthday. I took
Yeah.
it, and I was positive. So
Yeah.
we ended up kind of quarantined around camp, not going anywhere, and we actually ended up staying there a couple extra days. We talked to the park officials. There was a 7-day limit there, but we said, hey,
Yeah,
we
he's
don't want to travel
positive.
because I have COVID. So there was a lot of sweet mountain biking in that area that I didn't get to do because I had that. But there was a Trails Through Time hike that we went on.
Yeah, while he
after.
was sick.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I didn't know I was. I
We
had
didn't
it
know
at
at that point.
But there was a really cool trail right by camp, and it was an old area where they dug for dinosaur bones.
Yeah, so there's still an excavation site active, but no one was there excavating when we were there.
But there were still rocks with bones in them.
Yeah,
that you
it
could
was
see,
pretty
which
cool.
was really cool.
And amazingly, I never tested positive for COVID, so I don't know if when he started not feeling well, I also was not feeling great, but again, thought it was allergies. My eyes were itching really bad, so I never tested at that point, but I had a couple days where I was just exhausted. So I could have had it and just had a very, very mild case, which seems more likely than me not getting it since we're living in such a small confined space. He couldn't isolate from me, so.
Right.
But he finally started feeling better.
Just to go back to Tracy's birthday, that was the night of the lunar eclipse.
Oh,
too.
right. That was really cool.
So we had a nice campfire, and we took a ton of pictures of the moon, and we just looked at the stars and the moon, and it was pretty sweet. I mean, the moon looked more 3D than I've ever seen it. I don't know if it was the higher elevation or what it was, but it was pretty spectacular. We got some good camera shots, some good photos of it. And we just stayed up late kind of partying.
Yeah, and then from there we moved on to Moab.
Yeah, we were going to go north, but we decided, Tracy let me go to Moab so I could do some mountain biking.
Yeah, well, and it's just, I don't know why, I think it was going to be windier and raining up there, and the site we were looking at Dinosaur National Monument or whatever park it is north of there was going to get some rain, and it was way back, like 50 miles off the main road, and so we went to Moab instead, which was cool because we ended up getting to campsite at a campground that we were at, I don't know, 10 years ago with Renee, right on the Colorado River. Just amazing, beautiful. Not ideal because Moab is crazy busy with tourists, so we had not ideal neighbors, and lots of people riding through the campground really fast looking for campsites when it was full. But right across from it, though, was this really nice hike. We were at Grandstaff campground, and then there's Grandstaff Trailhead. But that trail goes back to Morning Glory Bridge, which is a very large natural bridge that people even go and rappel off of. I like the trail to Morning Glory Bridge so much that I ended up doing it again without Rob when he went mountain biking.
Yeah, cool trail. So the next day it was really hot and windy, if you can imagine the windy part. So we decided to take a Sunday drive to Canyonlands National Park because it was pretty close and we got the Golden Pass.
Right.
So why not go there?
No
it's free.
wait to get in, like Arches, where we had to make reservations to get in. We'd been to Arches before anyway, so, but Canyonlands was really cool.
Very cool.
We didn't do any hikes there. We just stopped out at some viewpoints, got some cool pictures, and went to
we were in Island in the Sky, which there's actually three different parts to the park. There's Needles, Islands in the Sky, and the other one is Roughneck?
No, I don't remember. Anyways, you can't get to those parts via Island of the Sky. You have to go to different entrances. So we just went to that area. And then the next
day, we took another Sunday drive.
Yeah, because it was still hot and windy. and went up the LaSalle Mountains, which was really cool. Geologically different both sides. Going up, it was very forested, hilly. Some cool campgrounds up there. Some of it wasn't even open yet because still snow up on the mountain. And then we went.
Well, one of the reasons we wanted to go up there is the whole Enchilada Trail,
Right.
which is a sweet mountain bike trail that ends at the campground that we were staying at. And it's a long, difficult, challenging trail that I actually wasn't able to do because of COVID. But I wanted to see where it started and see what the trail looked like. And one of my guys from back in the GR said to check out this portion at least. So we went up to Hazard to check that out.
Which is when you're coming back down the mountain, and that side was very typical Moab area, very big boulders, but the views coming down through there were amazing.
It was
and we
awesome.
actually got out and walked part of the mountain bike trail, which was also really cool just to hike it.
Yeah, we wanted to see an area they call the Notch.
Yeah.
Which was, I don't know anyone that would be able to mountain bike this
crazy,
part of
pretty
the
much
trail.
straight down.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you had to carry your bike down. I don't think you could ride it down,
But it was cool hiking that portion because, the views were just spectacular there.
And again, tons of wildflowers. We just hit the jackpot this spring going to areas where flowers are blooming. The cacti were blooming. It was just beautiful, beautiful, breathtaking drive.
Highly recommend it.
And I'm
if you're in
assuming
the
you're
Moab
going to
area.
show some highlights of that.
I hope. I'm showing some pictures right now. Then I was actually starting to feel a lot better. I was quarantining myself to the camper and we were taking some car drives. We were being careful, but I was still feeling a little fatigued and out of it. I only felt congestion and sinuses from COVID, so not too bad, but still, I didn't have enough energy to do the whole Enchilada Trail because you really got to be
very
focused
tired.
You need to have your complete attention and your strength for that trail. But I found an area called the Moab Brand Trails, which were super sweet still. Very technical, just enough to make it challenging but fun at the same time. So went there and spent about 3 hours one day just tooling around and biked until my legs were sore and I couldn't bike anymore. And then I went back to the vehicle, ate an orange, biked a little bit more, and then went back to camp after that. But that was very sweet.
And that's when I hiked that other trail.
Yep.
Then we debated staying in Moab a little longer, but it was so busy and it was getting super hot, in the 90s. Just really, nowhere to swim and cool down. And
so that's we decided we're going to do this video in 2 parts because they keep going on, and we're just trying to give you as many details as we can and trying to make them go as fast as we can.
Right, we need to do them more often. So that was part 1.
That was part 1 of the June update, so stay tuned. We're going to record part 2 next. So, to be continued. Stay tuned. Part 2's coming. We love you.
Love you.
We miss you. Peace out. Is it recording? It is
Now it's
recording.